I have a question on reproductive freedom.
Yeah.
And I come from a conservative Christian pro-life family, and I was a Republican until Donald Trump's presidency. Like most Americans, I believe in a woman's right to choose.
Yeah.
And with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, my 21-year-old daughter now has fewer rights than her mother or her grandmothers.
Yeah.
So my question is, what are your thoughts on this extremism? And how can we restore those fundamental human rights that have been taken away from the American women?
So to your point, when Donald Trump was president, he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe, and they did as he intended. And now there are at least 20 states in our country that have criminalized healthcare providers, to your point. I mean, in Texas, the law provides for prison for life for a doctor, nurse, healthcare provider for doing what they believe is healthcare and in the best interest of their patient. Punishing women. I was actually just this week, just a few days ago, in the state of Georgia with the mother of a young woman who died because of Georgia's abortion ban, and she had to go to another state, and it's a long and very tragic story that did not have to be. And here's how I think about this issue. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree that the government, these folks in a state capital, much less Donald Trump, should not be making this decision for her. If she chooses, she will talk with her priest, her pastor, her rabbi, her imam, but not the government. I'll give you another example of the harm that is going on. I started my career as a prosecutor. I have prosecuted everything from low-level offenses to homicides. But one of the reasons I became a prosecutor is because when I was in high school, I learned that my best friend was being molested by her stepfather. And so I said to her, you have to come live with us. I called my mother. My mother said, of course, and she did. And I made a decision early in my life that I wanted to do the work that was about protecting vulnerable people. There are some of these bans that include no exception for rape or incest. I have specialized in those kinds of cases. And the notion that we would tell a survivor of a crime that is a violation to their body, that they have no right to make a decision about what happens to their body next, I mean, I think that's just unconscionable. I think it's immoral. And so this is one of the issues that is at play. And when this issue has been on the ballot since the Dobbs decision came down, in so-called red states and so-called blue states, the American people have voted for freedom.